Well, James, previously we talked about jockeys having a confidential sort of helpline. They can ring if they're being put under pressure. Now, is there like an unofficial line to the starter if near the off there's a horse on the all-weather or anywhere drifted alarmingly? Does somebody go up to the pilot and whisper in their ear and say, there's a suspicious betting on this, we're watching you?
No. We'd be in communication with the track. We'd be in communication with the stewards, telling them what our concerns were. But I don't think it would be fair that every time we saw a drifter, or even under more exceptional circumstances, if we then, by putting the jockey on notice, made them do something that they wouldn't otherwise do. We don't want jockeys giving horses extra hits because they think they're being watched and they have to be seen to be making an effort that they wouldn't otherwise do. If a horse is weakening, they have to ease off the horse. In some ways, might it be good to do that? Possibly. For the jockey's sake, just in case the ride might come into question and it was really nothing to do with them being involved in not running the horse on its merits, it might be nice to give the jockeys a heads up. But then it would perhaps an inordinate pressure on jockeys, on a regular basis, that totally innocent, a betting move totally unrelated to anything to do with them, and all of a sudden they feel that the eyes of suspicion are on them. So there's a possible yes, there's a possible no, but I don't know if it would be wise to be regularly making jockeys feel they were under extra scrutiny.
Similarly, are the stewards on course alerted to these big drifts?
We have a system called Rio, and basically what happens is whoever's responsible for monitoring that meeting that day will go through early market moves, lunchtime moves, and then the stewards always have a briefing 70 minutes before the first race. In advance of that, we will have sent down or spoken to the stewards, say it's an online platform, we will have notified the stewards of any significant market movers or any ongoing integrity concerns that we have. So, something gets backed from 33 to 1 to 4 to 1, the stewards will be aware of it. So, similarly, something drifts from 33 to 1, to 33 to 1 from 4 to 1, the stewards will be notified of it. Now, if it's a horse going from, a well-bred horse from a big stable going from 7 to 2 to 12 to 1 and a maiden first time out, the paddock boys have seen it, it's not ready today. That's not the sort of thing we're going to pass down. But if a 7 to 2 favourite in a handicap, which had been 7 to 2 all morning, suddenly at lunchtime drifts to 12 to 1 and there hasn't been a change in conditions, we'd highlight that and notify the stewards of it, and they would keep that in mind when watching the race, yeah.
So what would you say the best or the biggest tool in your arsenal is?
We've got a lot of joined up thinking here now. We have communications with the handicappers, we have regular communications with the stewards, we've got various tools, the bet monitors are really handy tool for us to have that we can allay a lot of concerns really quickly. And again, just the fact that the team's that bit bigger now, we can give pretty much full coverage to pretty much every meeting that happens now.
Well, what would you say is the biggest problem you face in your role?
I think there's a perception that we're not here and we don't care and nobody's watching, and punters feel a bit alone. Also, as we touched on earlier, I'd like more powers. It's frustrating that the powers that we have don't allow us to force people to participate in investigations when we're pretty confident that something no good has gone on. But we're a sports governing body. We're not a statutory body, so there's not a lot we can do about that.
Now these days, it's terrestrial, it's on TV, there's people watching, there's people betting and running,
yeah.
There's cameras at every angle, and instant reaction is now available on social media.
Yeah.
Now is Twitter, for the biggest example I suppose, is that a help or a hindrance to your job?
Well, it helps when people spot, we have got someone watching every meeting every day, but while I might be watching 3 horses at the back, someone on that I know might have been watching a different horse in the race and have concerns about it. So it's nice that it's an easy way for people to get immediately in touch with me and say, did you see that? Do you have any concerns? Can you go and get it checked out? The other problem with it is quite clearly that everyone's making instant judgments on sort of one view of a race. The great thing that we've got these days, the technological advances, that allow stewards to have multiple views. We're not dealing anymore with an interpretation of a race being the guy from Raceform or the guy from the Sport and Life, in the 1970s and their race read. We've got, Sky Racing and Racing TV. They've got cameras at all sorts of angles, head on, behind, side on. Everyone's seeing horses now every day, from every angle. The idea that someone could choke one and get away with it without someone noticing, without it being brought to our attention, without us seeing it, without the stewards having noticed it and done something about it, it's a silly idea.
Have you got any ex-jockeys on the payroll watching the races?
Well, lots of ex-jockeys are stewards. What we've got, our team is involved, me, ex-trader, ex-punter, we've got another ex-Ladbrokes trader, we've got 2 former journalists, racing journalists. So we've got, it's not people plucked off the street, it's people with a racing background, people with a passion for racing, people that's their hobby as well as their job. Lots of the stewards are ex-jockeys, Eddie Smith, Sam Cowley, Robert Earnshaw, guys like that, experienced horsemen.
Now, I wrote a thing a while back. I love the opinion that racing's never been straighter, and it got howls of derision from some sides, and it got people agreeing on the other. What's your opinion?
My opinion is it's as straight as we can get it at the moment. I think it's definitely straighter than it used to be. It's definitely straighter than it was 15 years ago. Is it perfect? No, it's never going to be. As long as there's gambling involved, someone's always going to try and find the easy route to the easy money. Is it as bad as I thought it would be when I took this job 3 years ago? Absolutely not. It's not. Everyone's right to have concerns, but the concerns should be few and far between. We talked about campaigning horses as opposed to stopping horses. Punters have a bit of work to do to work out when the day is going to be for a horse, when it's going to be at its absolute peak. But that's not to say anyone's broken the rules and getting it there. Punters have to do a bit of work to, wrong ground, there's not a race at the right trip. Trainers will tell people that I've got to run him at this trip today because there isn't a race that he's qualified for. It's down to the punter to know that conditions aren't perfect and wait for the time when it is. But I think definitely the days when I used to panic about going on the machine for a bet and worrying that I didn't know everything that had happened, I would like to think that punters can be reassured it's not like that anymore.
Now, you say you think it's obviously a lot straighter than it was. Is there more that can be done? And if there is, what would you like to see racing change, and what more powers that you could have? What if you could do anything to change things and make it even tighter? What do you think would help you?
I think there's lots of good systems in place as it is. Obviously, I mentioned before we'd like more powers to pursue when we think something's wrong. But I think that the current setup at the moment, the way we work between ourselves, with the stewards, with the handicappers, amongst our own team, it's sort of no one ever actually has a day off. Everyone's always watching for something that someone else has been watching for. I think we're getting more sophisticated. Certainly since I arrived 3 years ago, it's definitely getting more sophisticated. A bit more resource would be nice. It'd be lovely to have one person per meeting per day that could actually go to the track and do the job there. We get out as often as we can. Most of the team are on track once a week, twice a week if we can manage it. There just isn't the money to have 10 racing and betting monitors that are constantly out on the track. That would be great, but money's tight, I think, as everyone knows in racing, and I don't think it would be too well received if we went back and asked to double our budget just for that.
Okay, so you've got all those eagle-eyed punters at home, so do you actually welcome correspondence from them?
Absolutely. James Racing one on Twitter, something you don't like, send me give me a nudge, I'll follow you, give me your concerns, I'll get it checked out. Chances are we've probably had a look at it anyway, but if we haven't, only too happy. Use Race Straight, email integrity@britishhorseracing.com. You don't have to sit there feeling frustrated, thinking something wasn't right. There's absolutely a way to get it checked out. We check absolutely everything out that comes forward. Sometimes it's just someone that's got a gripe because they're back to loser. You can tell that within 5 minutes of watching the race. The jockey's giving it a perfect ride, he's just got it done. But because it got beaten a short head, not winning a short head, obviously it's the jockey's fault. We go and look at them all. if there's a genuine concern there, it will get followed up. Absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, James Moore, thank you very much.
Thanks, Simon.